Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for tuning in this evening. We have a pleasure to have Coach Leach here with us here, asking him a few questions about this upcoming season. Coach Leach, how you doing this evening?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, thank you. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule.
Thanks for having me.
Let's take some time here at the beginning and let you give us a history of kind of your background and the decision you made to come to EHS.
Well, I was kind of in a weird spot over the summer, and I spent my summer up in Lawrence, 90-10 training with some high-level Division I athletes, and had a really good summer. Learned a lot about player development, and really how to move with the ball and without the ball. Got to see some of the highest level players that you could probably see around here, and really enjoyed it. I got a call from Mr. Francis. It was the third week of June, and he said, "Hey, what do you think about coming to Erie to coach basketball?" And I said, "Well, I don't know." It's like, "You hiring your third assistant?" And he goes, "No, I'm hiring a head coach." And I said, "Why are you doing that? Coach Pfeiffer, he does a great job." He goes, "Well, he's took a job in Joplin," and I was like, "Whoa, okay. Well, what about Coach Carlisle?" And he's like, "Well, with the situations we're in, we're looking for a head coach. Would you be available?" And I said, "Absolutely. Why not?" I said the only one condition is I'm student teaching, and I'm going to need to move that over there to make that convenient. And if we can do that, we're rocking and rolling. Made a few phone calls, got it squared away, and here I am. So couldn't imagine a better place to start my head coaching career, and I'm excited.
Awesome. Well, let's jump right into it now.
Okay.
You have the privilege to replace Coach Pfeiffer, who had some great seasons as the head basketball coach here the last several years. Several winning seasons, which included a 2-year run taking the boys to the state tournament. What strategies do you bring to try and continue the successful tradition that Coach Pfeiffer has left behind?
Well, let me start by saying I don't think there's a bigger shoe to fill. And I'm not gonna lie, there's some pressure there for that. Coach Pfeiffer paved a road that most people can't. He did a great job. I can tell you, 3 years ago I started my refereeing career, and my first game was actually one of Erie's games over in Oswego. And I was nervous as all get out, and I can remember talking. The first guy I talked to was Coach Carlisle. Of course, this was a JV game, so he was taking the head seat there, and I was just like, man, they got it going on over there. I mean, they really work hard. They play tough defense. They not only that, they're respectful. I mean, every time the ball was on the floor, there was an Erie kid running over there to pick it up and hand it to me. Every time I passed the ball and administered the ball, whether it was a free throw or out of bounds or sideline, "Thank you, sir," was always the response. I think that's a missing link in this world. And if a coach can come in and do that kind of a job and build kids, build boys into men, I mean, that right there in itself is amazing, unbeatable. The success, I think, with him was he did that, and the success came second. And I like I said, you talk about a big shoe to fill. I'm kind of nervous for it, but I'm excited for it because, like I said, I'm walking into a really good situation, and most first-year head coaches are not working into a good situation. So again, I'm very excited.
Well, we're glad to have you here, and don't be nervous. I think those shoes will grow smaller and smaller as we go on. You'll fill them very nicely.
I appreciate that.
I'm going to be honest with you, though. I do view this season as kind of a rebuilding season for the team. The last couple of years, Erie's graduated a lot of seniors and a lot of true basketball talent. What is the key this year as you try to rebuild this program for this year to be successful?
Confidence. Confidence is going to be huge for us. We have a lot of kids that don't have a whole lot of varsity experience. Last year, they graduated 5 starters, 7 seniors. 92% of our production. That's both on the offensive and defensive end. And anytime you're losing that significant amount of production, there's going to be some stepping up to do. I told the guys the first time I met him, first week of July, I said you can look at it one or two ways. You can look at it as we're losing that, or you're looking at it as an opportunity for you to step up and take advantage of the chance that you've been waiting for. And I'm going to be honest, those kids, they're hungry. They are very hungry, and they've been waiting for their chance. And it's time for them to get their chance and show what they've got. I think we have a good group of kids. I think they work hard. I think that, there's some kids that put in a lot of work over the summer, whether it was playing travel ball or just simply coming up here and shooting. They've gotten a lot better. And I'm excited for them because I think they'll surprise some people. And I think that a lot of people are going to be, I would say, hesitant to speak their mind the next time that they say this is a rebuilding year.
Man, I'll take that as kind of geared to me, but moving on. Last year, this team graduated Eric Dillinger, a big influence player, not only inside but could also step outside and hit some open shots. Who do you see this year being able to kind of take over down low and become the next big man for Erie?
I think it's going to be a shared role. I think I've got three guys that are pretty big candidates for that. They may not play the same way. I coached against Eric 3 times last year, if I believe, and you talk about a good player. Yeah, he's a stud. There's no doubt about it. College player, starting as a freshman right now in Elbet County. That's a special thing. But we've got Daniel Troy, we've got Hayden Seibel, and we've got Gavin Reisig that are going to step in and do a fine job. I think that they're very able to step in there and compete at a varsity level. So I'm looking at those three to really share that role and share it well and fill it well.
Well, see, right there you gave me 3 names to replace one person. And I think that's even greater because you have a little more depth there that can, rotate in and out to fill that big man role. So, you see, your shoes are already starting to fill up pretty quick.
Thank you.
Turning to kind of the leader, I'm not going to say the leader of the team, but kind of leader on the floor, kind of like a quarterback, for the offense of a football team. Point guard's always a big issue for every team. Erie's had the privilege of, last 3-4 years having a pretty decent point guard handle the ball coming up, so getting the offensive sets. Ethan Bartholomew ran the point last year, graduated as a senior. Who can fill his shoes this year and set your team, to get into that offensive set when they need to?
This is another great key aspect of their team last year. He talk about a very efficient player. I think of the Bartholomew kid right off the bat. He ran the point really well, handled the ball really well, was very composed. I'd like to have him back. I wish he had an extra year of eligibility, but unfortunately we don't have that. But I'm going to be honest, we really haven't figured that out yet. We've got a lot of good candidates, don't get me wrong. Reed Duff, great candidate there. Juan Hernandez, great candidate there. Eli Monty, that is another good candidate there. Those are another 3 names that I think that they're going to fill that role really well. As we get into the season, I think roles will be a little bit more concrete, and we'll know who that guy is. But right now, it's kind of up in the air. We're going to use this first 3, 4, 5 games to kind of fill out our rotation, what our roles are, and build off that. So, I think those 3 we'll find one of them out of those 3 for sure.
Garrett Ruark's another kid that graduated last year that could step up, drill many trays, and also had a deadly burst to the goal. Great left-handed player. Who can step up and kind of take that role as what I consider kind of a three player?
Um, right now we have Ethan Dillinger at our three. Uh, Ethan is matured a lot as a player over the summer. Um, I think he's grown, which I didn't think that was possible at the height that he is. But he is he's developed into a player that can shoot a little bit. He can pass the ball a little bit. He is a playmaker, and we need those. If we could have 5 of them, I would be lucky. But at this level that we're playing at, Ethan's going to have a big role for us, and whether it's scoring, whether it's assisting in baskets, whether it's rebounding, he's going to have to do it all for us. He when it comes to stepping up and understanding that you're going to have to take a large portion of that production that we graduated last year. His window of opportunity couldn't be any bigger. I'm excited for him, and he has really shown me, and especially in the last 3 days of practice, the player he's kind of growing in to be. So he's exciting to watch.
On a side note, talking about Ethan there, probably the tallest kid on your team, maybe the tallest kid in the league. I don't know. I haven't studied much of the other teams. Do you see him having the toughness to maybe move inside and play a 4 or 5 if it comes down to it, or do you think mainly you're going to use him more on the outside?
Ethan is a traditional slasher. He's very athletic. For his size, he's very athletic. He does have a quick step, and he can get to the rim with one dribble very easily. This summer there was a kid. His name is Aiden Shaw. He was a senior last year, and he's a freshman at Mizzou this year. Him and Aiden are very similar build. I'm excited to see Ethan grow into his body a little bit and understand how to use it. But I'm going to be honest. That even at this level right now, at 6'8", if you can slash, man, that is tough to beat. And that's who he is. That is his true demeanor on the court. He is a true slasher. So I'm really trying to set him up for success as much as I can on the outside, with the opportunity to cut inside and make plays from the inside as well. We're not going to be hey Ethan, this is your mold. You have to play inside. You have to do this because that limits him. And I'm not going to do it because he's truly that good.
This is obviously coming from me, but I believe you have the privilege to have one of the best assistant coaches in the state of Kansas. A coach that has a privilege, have the privilege to be a head coach for a lot of teams nationwide. A person that not only loves the game of basketball, but cares tremendously about the players on this team and his past teams. How have you and him gelled so far this year?
Well, I'm going to start clear back to my first encounter with Coach Carlisle. He is a very stand-up individual. He's very straightforward, and he's very honest. And in the coaching world, those are the best 3 things you can have in an assistant coach. I'm going to be honest. When I came here, my first question was Jamie Carlisle, my assistant, because he better be. That's who I want. Because I agree with you. There isn't a better assistant coach in the state of Kansas. I would even go nationwide, 100%. He is a fantastic assistant coach, and you're right. If he could go anywhere else, he could be a head coach easily. He could be a head coach here. That's a good reason why we gel so well together, is because I think the mutual respect between him and I is so great. We had the opportunity to work together in football season. We called the defense together. That was a very fun opportunity. I was kind of his assistant, and so it was fun to get to know him outside of basketball, in a sport that is a lot of fun to be around. So That's another reason why we gel so well. And lastly, the one of the coolest things about our relationship in the short amount of time we've been together, coaching together. We've had very similar experiences in the last 6 months to a year. Um, Coach Carr lost his wife very recently, and first of all, what a man, what a tough individual. He is he's taken that within stride, and most people wouldn't be able to take that at all. So I have tremendous respect for him, just simply with the way that he's handled himself and the situation he's been in. 5 days after his wife passed away, I lost my father to cancer, and although it's not exactly similar, my situation as a parent, his situation as a spouse. We've both lost loved ones. We've both been there for each other, and you can't put a price tag on that. You can't. I truly think God put us in this position because we would be in this situation. I'm here for him just like he's here for me, and he's done more for me than he even knows. And I can't thank him enough for that. I really can't. I mean, he's been a true godsend for me, not only on the floor but off the floor. So, talk about lucky. I am the luckiest head coach in the world right now to have Jamie Carlisle on my staff.
Well, Coach, thank you for those insights, both on Coach Carlisle and yourself. What continuing on with that? What's your greatest attribute that you bring to this team as a person and a coach?
My greatest attribute is 100% my past, and what I've been through, and my history around the game. I'm a coach's son, so that's been a huge thing for me. I've been around the game since I could walk. I was running around chasing a basketball, football, or out on the track running, trying to chase people down that I never could touch, but whatever. That's been a great thing for me. Also, my experiences this summer have really helped me with player development. I really enjoy player development. But what I love more than all that put together is I really enjoy helping people, particular people that are young boys, and I try my best every day to help these kids understand what life's about. I'd love to go 20-0, 26-0, win a state championship. That's great, but what would fill me up more with inner happiness is to turn 16 young men out into this world that are accountable, that are dedicated, that have discipline, that have a good work ethic, and have some grit. They can face adversity, and they can say, you know what, it's okay. I'm all right. It's tough today, but tomorrow it's going to be better because I'm going to set myself up for success. That's what this business is all about at the high school level. It's not about winning basketball games. It's about building young boys into men. And if you do that, those wins will come on their own. They'll show up on your front door in a package wrapped up like a Christmas present. But you got to build those kids before they can have success anywhere on the court or off the court. So, that's that right there. And that's another reason why Coach Carl and I get along so well is we're here for the kids. We're here to help these kids understand and help them get ready for the real world.
Well, as a person, I love that answer. Not very many high school kids get to go on and play at the next level, and then very, very limited few get to go on and become a professional athlete. Mm-hmm. So your answer to that question alone really hits me deep because our world needs all those things that you talked about trying to make those kids become. So I thank you for that way of thinking.
Thank you.
Red Devil basketball has loved to get out, push the ball down the floor. Tempo, tempo, tempo. What kind of style do you see for this team offensively this year?
I think that we're going to have to be strategic. I am also one of those individuals that love to push the ball. I want to get that ball down the floor. I want to get it on our half the court as fast as possible. You know, I don't think that is in this year's DNA. I think ball control is more going to be our way of play. I could be wrong. You know, we haven't even played a game yet. But you know, we're really looking to keep that ball in our hands. We want to possess that ball for as long as possible. If I got that ball and I'm playing you and you don't have it, you can't score. And that's just a simple fact. You know, I want to get that ball down the floor, and I want to get our offense set up as soon as possible, and I want to go. But at the same point, we need to be patient. And we need to wait for the best opportunity for us to put that ball in the basket. And I think if we do that, we'll be very successful.
Man. When I'm talking about man, I'm talking about defensive pressure. Defensive pressure has been very intense in the past season. Again, what kind of style defensively suits this team for this year?
We're going to do a lot. Our defensive principles this year are going to revolve around keeping the ball in front. We're going to hopefully force you to take long contested shots. We're really all about long twos. You know, we want to make it tough. If you're going to take that ball to the basket, you're going to have to earn the basket that you're going to score. You know, we want to contest every shot, make it tough, and just keep the ball in front. And I think if we do that, I think we'll be successful, especially on the defensive end.
Well, Coach Leach, I'd like to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, and would also like to say, ladies and gentlemen, after hopefully hearing the thoughts of Coach Leach for this upcoming season, I myself hope that we get to have this conversation year after year with Coach Leach, as the answers he's provided really makes you want to. Hopefully this guy will stick around and lead this team the best that they're capable. Again, Coach Leach, appreciate your time, and the best of luck to you this coming season.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me. Thanks for the opportunity. We really appreciate what you guys do, and there's very few schools our size that have this this wonderful thing that, you know, A, helps the kids be noticed, but B, you know, lets everybody watch. It's an awesome thing, and I cannot be more blessed to have you guys. So, thank you.
Thank you, sir.